Are you listening to me? You're both of you nuts.
Why do this? Why not do it?
You gotta ask yourself a question.
I'll answer your question. You want answers? You have the luxury of not knowing what I know. It's that simple.
And people are always looking for something to be recreationally outraged at.
Are we clear? Are we clear?
Who said that? Nobody, huh? Ah! That's the war face! Now let me see your war face! Ah!
I've got 2 left juice left!
All right, so, oh my God. I think I just created the best box ramen, or how should I say, ramen from not a restaurant. I ultimately had the best ramen, I think, that I just made from a package. So this is what happened. My wife, she actually made some chicken soup, and she took all the vegetables. I think it was like carrots and celery, garlic, and onion, and she put it in a frying pan, and everything was just like sizzling, and it was like, ooh, what is that smell? I took that, and then she actually put that into the a bunch of chicken thighs and water, and she made that in the soup. So it's been boiling forever. She probably cooked it for like 8 hours. I don't know, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, this is the oiliest thing I've ever seen. And it was like so fatty. So what I did was I was like, you know what? I just don't want to eat the soup. And it was like totally unsalted, because the way we eat it is you add however much salt you want to how you want it to taste. So I just took my ladle, put it into another pot, started putting all that broth in, and I turned it on high, started boiling it, reached into my drawer full of ramen, cut it up, put those 2 packages in there. And I figured, hey, the packet already has salt, right? Put that in there, put the ramen in it, and I did exactly what Joy does, because I think, Joy, you just put the ramen in, and you don't let it boily so it's all like all soft and smushy, right?
I hate mushy, overboiled noodles.
Right. I hate it, and ever since you told me that, I actually like it a little, like, I guess they call it al dente, I don't know, but it's like al just dente. Perfect. So right before like the crunchiness went away, I cracked 2 eggs, put it in there, whirled it around, put it on my.
Why didn't you call me?
No, I ain't calling you. No. And this is funny because my wife, she goes, "Hey, did you take a picture of it?" No, man, I can't take no picture of it. I'm at home. I'm gonna eat ramen the way I'm gonna eat ramen. Anyway, I tried it. It was unbelievable. I mean,
did you put sesame oil?
You don't need to, man, because it's the oil from the chicken, dude. It's all the. It was like eating pork ramen, right? It's all fatty and all this oil. I was just like so amazed by it. I was like, dude, I think I found the magic key how to make not homemade ramen, but how to make packaged ramen. I don't know, Joy. How do you make your ramen?
Wait, you need greasy broth, is what you're saying.
Greasy broth, totally. It's just so good. And I know, dude, I know Jay, I know he makes his ramen because I see pictures on his little Facebook thing, man. And I know
I'm still not friends
stuff
with you, Jay. You need to friend me.
Wait, did you ever send me a request?
I couldn't find you.
Oh man, you know what? There's
I don't know your last name.
Oh shoot, that's okay. That's why. Well, that's only the start. Apparently, there's like so many me's out there.
Oh, I figure. It's all right.
I'm like everywhere. Apparently,
come look for me. I am unique.
Oh,
look at me.
Yeah, don't worry. We can take about that. We could take care of that later, man.
But ramen. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, wait. Which ramen do you use again? I use the
It's the basic Korean one, the one that's just spicy. It's the one they sell at Costco.
Oh wait. That's probably not the one that I use. The one that I use, it's called a Sam Yang. It's like the really big noodles.
Oh, really? I don't know what it is. All I know is that there's like this little box with a line through it and these L's and 7s and H's. I don't know, man.
Is it Sin, something like that?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know. It's just red and black and it looks spicy.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
It was spicy. Anyway, today we got Danny with us today.
Hello.
Yeah, so we're going to talk to Danny a little bit about plant-based diets. But before we do that, we also have somebody sitting in the corner who's just sitting in with us. His name is Ken-sei.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Ken.
Hey,
Welcome.
Ken.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Ken-sei, what city are you in, man?
Oh, I'm in Pinole.
Pinole.
Pinole?
Yeah, it's
I
like
haven't
the
been
city
since
before
high
it burned
school.
down. Over in Crockett and Vallejo.
Yeah. Pinole. Oh, man. Well, that's cool. I mean, at least, we're pretty much there. I know, Jay, you're somewhere up higher than that.
Yes. Yeah, a little higher, but
A
not.
little higher than that. Anyway, what I want to get into is something that was on the news for a couple of days. It was actually Kaepernick's return. Colin Kaepernick, former 49er quarterback. And here's my thing. Here's what I'm just going to say right now, because nobody's talking about it. Nobody is actually talking about the other thing about Kaepernick on how he plays. And if any one of you, if you want to question me on it, this is how I think about Kaepernick. And he shouldn't be in the NFL, and I'm going to tell you why.
Damn, a fight.
After he went to the Super Bowl, and he continued his season, if you watch him, because he lost like half his games, and then the following year he lost almost all his games, and then he didn't play the year after that. But I swear, every time a linebacker, an inside linebacker or an outside linebacker moves their head, takes one step forward, what do you hear immediately after that? You hear from Kaepernick, kill, kill, kill. He ultimately kills the play. If a safety steps up 3 paces forward and then moves back and then moves to the side, he's going to kill the play. You're going to hear it, kill, kill, kill. If a cornerback starts to line up, like right on the line of scrimmage and shows blitz, you're going to hear him say, kill, kill, kill. Now, to me, I only pick one of those things out. It's because I don't think Kaepernick can really read the defense. I don't think he has a great arm. I mean, I think he throws hard like Dan Marino. He can throw further who can throw really far? Aaron Rodgers can throw far. And here's my thing. He can't read the defense, man. This has nothing to do with any political stunt he's doing. Whatever he stands for, it's fine. Whatever he wants to do, it's fine. But the guy cannot read the defense. He kills plays, and he doesn't get the plays in time, and there's always a delay of game. Like almost every game after the season, right after the Super Bowl, when he continued that one season, he went 8-8. Can't play. Does anyone else have anything to say about that?
Well, I can probably understand why he got so political. It's almost like a way of saying, like, hey, look at this, but don't look at how bad I'm playing, kind of thing. I don't know. It just seems like, now that you mention it, it seems like all just a ruse now.
Wow.
So that's where I'm going with this. I'm not even touching this whole thing about, the national. I'm not even touching on that. I'm talking about he's playing, man. It's like I saw his workout. I saw a little about his workout video. It's about 42 minutes long. And the dude, he was throwing deep. He was throwing short every pass, except for maybe 2 passes out of 40, 50 passes he threw. I mean, he made almost all of them except for 2. And I was looking at his footwork. That's great. He can throw. We all know he can throw. But, man, when you put up a defense against him and you show blitz, he's not going to throw into the direction of where the blitz is coming from. He's going to kill the play and throw and call some other bogus play and then get sacked, dude.
Yeah, but
that's just me.
Wasn't it based off in another location where everybody else is doing their training?
I think he wanted to do it at a high school. I think he did it at a high school. So
yeah, but it wasn't another location, but everybody told me it was an hour away from where everybody else is training. Where someone I heard on the on ESPN, they were saying that there weren't enough talent agents to go see him because they had to leave from the other place where everybody else was training to go see him.
Oh, well, that's funny.
That was one of those things that I heard, their reps weren't doing it right, but it was kind of staged to, show that he was doing something with it. That's kind of what I overheard on the news.
Oh man.
on ESPN. I mean, like it's not the same place. Everybody else is doing it the same time. I'm not talking about politics, but I'm just saying like there's a lot of hocus pocus, and trying to shine it up for him being this good for the last 3 years, 5 days a week,
I
5
think
a.m.
I think you're right. I think I read that they were actually going to do it at the Atlanta Falcons stadium,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like state of the art facility, cameras everywhere, lights everywhere, all the gear you need, everything that you could want, and probably the personnel to actually catch the ball. It was there. It was all there. But he decided to go for a high school. I have no idea.
I think you draw a great point. I mean, saying like he's kind of weak under pressure, because the thing is, it's like at the same point he has his team of people he's throwing at whatnot. There's no pressure. We've rehearsed this for 3 years.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
I know. Well, all I have to say is good luck to him. I hope if they do pick him up, I mean, that would be cool, but we are going to see we might see the same thing. The game has changed in the last 3 years. A lot of offensive coordinators, they have changed the game. But, that's something yet to be revealed. Let's see what happens if anyone picks him up in December, January, or maybe just prep him for next season. But we'll see about it. Anyway, the other thing that I saw in the news, aside from Kaepernick, which is a little older news, it was Kamala Harris proposing a school day ending at 6 p.m. instead of 3 p.m.
She crazy.
She crazy.
She crazy.
Damn,
For real.
Wait, so did she mention what time school's going to start? I'm imagining it's going to be a little later, right? Instead of early morning.
I think they were gearing towards some study about starting school at 9 or 9:30.
Okay, yeah, because you know what? Gosh, I'm trying to remember where. Okay, it's that one show. Adam Ruins Everything. It was like proposing that, like, a lot of the chart shows that kids aren't really functioning well because they have to get up too early to go to school. So
Are
it's
they
like,
talking about high schoolers?
I think
Teens,
high school
primarily.
I think high schoolers and earlier too, like
Maybe
even
middle schoolers.
Yeah.
Well, this was actually geared, the whole thing for school to end at 6 p.m. It was geared towards more elementary.
Oh, okay.
And so I think one of the callings for it was because there are parents that do work late and they would have to adjust their work schedule. So, it was to accommodate them. But to me, isn't that kind of like after or extended care, right? I mean,
that would be extended care. And you've got a whole slew of other parents who work at quote unquote the normal business hours, who have to be at work, who have to drive through, have to commute places. I mean, are you going to just disregard all of them who have traditional jobs and they're trying to make it work, dropping off their kids, whatnot? Now they have to go drop their kids off, 3 hours later?
But
that doesn't make any sense.
But that's what the extended care would be for, right?
Exactly.
Right. And so
maybe they should just put the money into extended care so hardworking parents don't have to pay for it.
I think our state should actually pay for it.
I think so.
Or at least shoulder a very good percentage. And to me, a very good percentage is like 90%.
But you know me, I hate when we add more government into the mix. So we'd have to look into that a little further.
I guess. Well, I'm not really for the whole. I mean, to make it compulsory for every student.
Exactly.
I mean, then that means that my kid wouldn't be able to, like, do martial arts, or if
right, where do the extracurriculars come in?
Right, wouldn't be able to do ballet. Wouldn't be able to do a lot of things.
My kids, I want them in bed by 8. Even my high schooler, he'll get to bed latest 8:30, 9. That's pushing it. So that gives them 6 hours. If school ends at 6, they'll get home maybe at a good time 6:30. They have to eat. They have to do homework. Where does family time?
Right. I don't know. That's some crazy stuff, though.
Makes no sense.
All I know is that it would have to be written better because I don't want it to be compulsory to everybody.
I'd like to take a look at that.
Yeah, that's something to look into. Anyway, hey, just a quick update. check this out,
The
man.
bag.
It's
Oh,
the
the
bag. Look, it went down to 961.
It went down before Black Friday.
Yeah, but check this out.
What?
So the black backpack, right? It's $29.99. I
That's
know,
cray.
but check this out. I actually bought it 2 days ago, and it was $8.41.
You bought that black bag for $8.41.
And then it went up to 20. What's going on here, dude?
I think when they check to see how many people buy what and if it's popular, they jack the price up. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's usually the case with colors. That's the same thing with everything, like cars or laptops. It's like the most popular color is always the expensive one, which is crazy.
Right. So check this out. This blue one right here.
Yeah.
1074. Got it for 861.
When? And that's when you first bought it, right?
No, that was yesterday.
Oh,
why do you keep buying backpacks for, boy?
Don't judge.
Don't judge.
I was just saying. What do you do with all them? You giving them away for Christmas, I hope.
A man could never have enough in his bags.
I like red.
You like red?
Just kidding. It don't matter.
Oh, are you trying to say something?
Yeah, I am.
That it's 8:36.
8:36 too. I know. It's like you're just trying to say that. So like, oh yeah, 8:36, no problem. Yeah, I'll get for you, Joy.
Yeah.
No,
I'll just
you
send
don't
it over
have
to
to.
you. Yeah.
No worries.
Oh yeah, you don't have to. You know what that means?
Good looking out.
That means yeah, you do.
No, I'd rather eat.
you have
Give me chicken. No.
Give me
Yeah,
ramen.
Well, you find it on your doorstep. You're gonna leave it there?
Of course not. I'm not
Okay.
stupid.
But look at this blue one. Isn't that? I like this blue.
That one's nice.
I have it. Wait, I don't know. Wait, let me see.
Like,
I do have it. See, it's right here.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Wow.
where's the video? Video's
wow,
gone.
look at the dimensions. So much bigger in video.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is pretty big.
I can't see it.
So you look
well, you'll see it. Well, anyway, so this is my face, right? It goes all the way.
Damn.
It's
Oh,
pretty
there it
big.
goes. I can see Ollie on now.
It's very roomy inside.
What the heck?
But anyway, the reason why we're really here today and is we're actually here to talk to Danny because something that I was talking to him probably over about a week now. We were talking about all these different diets that are coming out. Also, these replaceable meats, stuff that replaces meat. And Danny, you have like this plethora of information. I mean, when you were telling me, I was like, I was almost like, oh man, this is a lot. And but I was wondering, since this is something that you have studied and you have a lot more knowledge on, I was just wondering if you could just enlighten us with all these plant-based diets and all these new diets that have come out for 2019.
Hey everyone. So so me being in this fitness industry, I get bombarded with, oh, what do you think of this diet? What do you think of this diet? I personally never push any diet on anyone just because this is my stance on diets. Every diet's going to work within 90 days, and every diet that's ever come out is always a 90-day time frame, right? So that's how they get you marketing wise, right? So what's happening after the fact is, you get that yo-yo diet, you lose the weight, and then you're gonna gain it right back. And so I'm seeing all these yo-yo diets, and I've always told everyone just eat clean, eat clean, eat more of a balanced diet. But I was never that detailed until now. And it all kind of started with remember that rapper Nipsey Hussle?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was murdered, right? And then there was a whole conspiracy theory behind it. And it was because he was working on a documentary of Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi, way back, already started telling us that food is our medicine. Natural food is our medicine, and he even goes in and breaks down what kind of food and what are the benefits of that. So that kind of caught me into this world of research, and it's gotten so deep, and I never really pushed upon it. I remember What the Health came out back a few years back. I threw it out to my couple of my clients. Hey, check it out. They went on it. They did really good. They sustained it. And then I believe after maybe about a year, some personal happened to their life and they got off of it. But they were doing really good. So I never really looked upon it at that stage. But now, as I'm doing a lot more research with Dr. Sebi, and then it kind of caught me with other doctors in the industry. Oh no, actually, a couple of doctors that are coming out now, stating why we don't really need animal protein, and how we could sustain a healthier lifestyle just going plant-based. And not to confuse you guys with vegan and plant-based. Vegan is strictly ethical, animal rights, and no animal products whatsoever. Vegetarians be plant-based. It's not as strict. As far as the meat protein goes, it's not as strict. You have eggs. If you have mayonnaise, it's fine. It's just
you can have the byproducts of the animals, but you don't eat
yes.
the animals themselves. So you can have the eggs from the chicken. You can have the cheese and the milk from the milk that comes from the cow, but you don't actually eat the flesh of the animals
So
themselves.
Right.
caviar is okay.
Yeah, technically.
Bro.
I can't even afford that. So
Grocery outlet, dude. Grocery outlet.
So
You
so
got
let,
caviar in a can.
so let me ask you this, because there's all these things that are happening. Like I know a lot of people, even from different circle of friends, they're all talking about this two main things: keto diet and intermittent fasting.
Right.
And I'm trying to understand what keto diet looks like. It looks like it's from another diet, but just maybe a little bit more strict. And then this intermittent fasting, I'm not even sure what that is, but all I heard was, like, if you're a beginner, you just want to pick a 24-hour period that you don't eat like 2 times a week, but not in consecutive days.
As far as I know, I mean, there's a whole bunch of variations, and so let's break it down. Keto diet is a no carb, high fat, moderate protein diet. So yeah, so
Okay.
so the goal is to keep your carb, I think 20 grams and below for the day. And then you would come, and then high fat, that's avocado. What else is there, Joy?
You're looking at good quality fat, so nuts.
Good nuts.
You're not looking primarily at bacon. That's not what we're looking at.
Right.
What?
Yeah, I was
No,
gonna say. I just had a bacon
What?
cheeseburger earlier.
no. That's called dirty keto. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going.
And then moderate protein. Moderate protein, you're looking at maybe about 10 to 15% intake. 10 to 15% intake of
Meat,
protein. Yeah, protein.
Yeah.
Protein. But the problem, so that
So the premise of keto is because our bodies, we primarily burn up glucose as our main energy source. But the idea behind keto, a keto diet, is you move from burning up carbs or glucose to going into fat burning.
right.
So that's why you want to lower the carbs, and then when there's no longer any carbs to burn up, your body switches to burning up fat as its fuel.
So what's that other diet that's kind of similar to that, but it's like absolutely no carbs?
So in the 1980s, early 90s, a guy named Dr. Atkins developed a similar diet called the Atkins diet.
Right.
But with that diet is a no carb, high protein, moderate fat. So obviously that didn't work because he passed away overweight.
What?
And yes,
He was overweight.
he was overweight, and he had, I believe, he had heart issues. He had a cardiovascular issues, and he passed away from that. So you figure. So how the keto came about, what as a society we're so carb heavy, right? Processed carb heavy, meaning white rice, bread, sugar, anything white, anything processed, right? We overconsume as a society. We overconsume, right? So,
No. So wait. You said white rice is processed?
yes, it's processed. So white rice, they take out the fiber, right?
Oh.
They take out the fiber because in the natural form of rice, there's ingredients in there that can spoil and mold. So what they do is they remove all that. So now the shelf life is a lot longer.
What about the rice from Thailand, dude? Same thing.
It's white rice, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not processed like it is here in the United States, right?
No. But it's still processed on. It's still processed. They still go through processing.
Oh. Wait. Oh, Joy, what about in the Philippines, man? You know how they lay rice on the road?
Yes. And then they
Yeah. Is that processed?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? If you take anything from its natural state and manipulate it in any way, you can make the argument that it's processed.
Oh,
right.
Dude.
Right. And it's the husk that they remove.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So the husk contains the fiber, right? That would slow your
blood sugar.
Your blood sugar. But brown rice is healthier, but not a healthier alternative. Right. So if you're gonna eat rice, brown rice would be better than white rice. Slightly.
So would tea leaves be considered processed also? Because it was a leaf and you did something to it, and then now it's dried up.
Technically speaking, yes. I mean, it's definitely processed. But we're not saying that everything. Yeah, we don't want to make the argument. Oh, just stay away from tea leaves because it's processed. I think what we're gonna focus on is Frankenstein food. Anything that they sell in the store that doesn't look like its natural state at all, or the ingredient, if there's an ingredient label with tons of things that we normally wouldn't put in our pantry, like cellulose. If there's the word cellulose, like, do I keep cellulose in my pantry?
Wasn't that ice cream brand? Really. The whole slogan was, if you can't sound it out or read it, then you shouldn't buy it. It's like
exactly.
Milk, cream, and ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
Milk, cream, sugar, lots of sugar.
Yeah, dextrose, all that.
Dang. Okay. Since
you were talking keto.
But when you're talking about, like, I want to get into the whole like meat thing, because I did go to Burger King. I did try the Impossible Burger. It was all right. It was a little, I don't know, I felt like it was a little nutty. I don't know. I don't get it. And then I went to Carl's Jr. and I tried their burger and I actually liked it, but maybe it was all that barbecue sauce that was dripping on it. I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about
I think I like Carl's Jr. better.
Carl's Jr. not bad. Yeah.
Carl's Jr. is really good.
That one's the Impossible, right? Or is it the Beyond?
That one's Beyond.
Beyond.
Carl's Beyond.
All right, I have to ask the question, Roy. So is the Impossible Burger You know, leaving you empty after 15 minutes.
No.
Were you satisfied?
Wait, let me think about that. Wait, did I have?
You know, like when you eat something real quick and then you're like 15, 20 minutes, I'm like, damn, I was like, I'm still hungry.
I'll tell you what, it didn't weigh me down. Like a normal burger would weigh me down.
Yeah, that's good.
Cause I know that, you know, and I would go to Burger King and I would order like a Whopper with no cheese but heavy onion, and man, I just like pass out, dude, like after that, man.
Did you eat fries with it too?
No, I usually try to stay away from fries.
So you were satisfied is what you're saying.
Yeah, you don't do Ken-sei, you don't do tomatoes. Okay.
No, I try not to now.
Why?
It's acidic.
Oh.
That's a whole nother topic right there.
Yeah.
That's what puts you down. That's what puts you down.
Dang.
Talk about nightshades.
But I'll tell you what, the Beyond Meat at Carl's Jr., that thing is pretty good. I could actually eat that burger.
Yeah, no, same here. I've had it a couple of times just to make sure like there wasn't anything different. It was pretty much the same thing throughout the whole time. And then I just had the guacamole bacon burger. I know it's good as it sounds, but it's like you said earlier. It's like I can eat the Beyond Burger and be like, damn, I could have another one. But then now having this guacamole burger, the meat burger, now it's like, damn, I need to lay down.
And it's glad you guys brought that up, because if you guys go on Netflix and catch this documentary called The Game Changer, it's going to further explain or kind of touch light to why you would feel that way after you eat animal protein. So, so if you watch Game Changer, there's a few sections, but one segment, they brought in 3 collegiate athletes. I think 2 of them are omnivores. One of them is he's been a vegan since birth, actually. So what they did was they one day they fed him meat, a meat heavy meal, right? And then they took their blood, spun it, right, to separate the plasma, the fat, and the blood and the blood cells. And on the fatty part is cloudy, right? Cloudy. So the next day they fed him straight animal protein. And sure enough, it cleared up. So now so basically what's happening is you eat the meal, and then your blood gets thick from being cloudy, and it's just like a car, right? You get this gunky motor oil, your car's not going to run as efficiently versus if you just got a brand new oil change. So athletically, on a performance level, they're trying to debunk that, hey, in the NFL you guys don't need to eat meat, right? Because they were in the 80s, they were brought up, in 70s, 80s, they were brought up to, hey, you need meat to perform really well, right?
Right.
And they do, right? And they do because they're world-class athletes. So they're already, no matter what they eat, they're going to perform that better than the norm, right? So it's hard to, and even in this industry, it's so new, like supplements didn't come into picture till probably early 80s, late 70s, around there. Like the metrics, when back then bodybuilding, you would eat all the supplements, and you would piss out golden brown pee, right? And it smells like what you taste in those pills, right? So as far as this documentary goes, it just brings back to light, like, hey, like there Olympic athletes on plant-based, and they're breaking records, and they're performing like any high-level athlete would, and that's the premise of that documentary. So how I relate to that is because of my industry, obviously. I'm noticing all of my athletes, they're so tight, they're so inflamed, and I'm starting to think it's because of the diet. And no matter what we do, massage, it won't go away. So the only other thing I could think of is their diet. And sure enough, like, I mean, and I'm gonna just throw a disclaimer. I'm not a expert. I'm not an expert at this. I'm just starting. I'm just starting to do more research about it now. Now that I caught on with. Thank you. With Dr. Sebi and the Game Changer and myself, I'm diabetic. And I'll explain why it hits home to me as well. On this diet. But going back to athletics, our body's already inflamed. The minute when you the minute you guys got off of breast milk and got on dairy and cow's milk, our body's already inflamed because our body's trying to fight off the foreign, because cow milk is a foreign object to us, right? There's hormones. It's hormones in that cow in cow's milk to help a calf go from X amount of pounds up to 500 pounds in a year, right?
So cow's milk are for cows.
Yes. Human milk is, human, and the makeup of the two milk is different. Human milk is carbs and fat, heavy carb and fat. Cow's milk, you got hormones, protein, all that stuff that we won't, babies don't need. Right?
But in the 80s, man, it was always like the advertising was, it does a body good.
Yes. And that's another thing. As I'm doing research, it's opened up these doors, and it's so dark. It's so dark. I'm telling you, it's so corrupt behind us that we don't see. The corruption level is off the charts. And that's why I'm sitting here, and I'm changing my agenda with what I do with the gym. And thank you for having me on this, by the way, and giving me the opportunity and a platform. What I want to do is I want to change the minds of everyone at the gym, how they approach their diet, how to look into what they eat, right? For instance, you guys want to go buy a watch, $250 watch. You guys could probably spend about 3 weeks researching that, trying to figure out which one, which is best for you. Why don't we do that to our health? We're each paycheck, we're losing almost $1,000 in medical. Times 12, that's X amount of money that we wasted. Each pill, your doctor says, hey, you guys have to jump on, you guys have to take this pill because your cholesterol's high, your so and so's high. But we don't ever do the research. Thank you. We don't ever do the research how, right? And we're spending hundreds and thousands on these medications, right?
But,
and
but when we went into like, I think the year 2003 to 2005, I think there was this huge awakening from all the studies and all the, how I should say, the hippies from like the 70s, especially the 70s and the 80s, and then especially going to the late 90s. I think there's been this huge awakening.
Yes.
From people from everywhere, just realizing now that all the stuff that they've been eating like in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and you look at their health now, and it has resulted into what we have now is mainly cancer. I mean, you can go back to the diet before, like the U.S. servicemen went into Hawaii, right?
Right.
Exactly.
And they didn't really have any issues of blood pressure or diabetes until Spam came around, and then Spam was in their diets, and it's in every Hawaiian barbecue place. And you look at them now, and everyone is having high blood pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
Once we went from an agricultural to an industrial nation, that's when the changes of diet and then the medical histories of our people began to mutate, so to speak.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
it's
man.
once we became people who used to work from sun up to sundown to those who we wake up when we need to and then sit in front of a screen all day. That's when things started to change.
Right.
And then it had to be convenient because we need to sit at our cubicle and we only have an hour lunch. And what can we scarf down within that hour?
Half-hour lunch. What are you talking about?
Oh,
Right.
you poor thing.
Dude, the
And-
hour lunch was old school, man. It's 30 minutes now, dude.
Yeah. And also to add on to what Joy is saying, our body is so adaptive that we don't see any negative side effects till 20, 30 years down the line. So, right, going into 40s, you're looking at, 40 years down the line, 80s, our grandpa is starting to get, our grandpa or grandparents are getting high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, X and X and X.
But you're seeing a change in that now because you're seeing kids with obesity. You're
Right.
getting people in their 20s, early 20s, or even their late teens who are developing autoimmune diseases, which were unheard of. These autoimmune diseases are so completely new.
Right.
And it's just because our bodies are so inflamed.
So let me shift gears here. Joy, have you ever tried that intermittent fasting?
I have. I'm on it. I do
Yeah?
it. Yes.
You feel good?
It feels good. Do you know what intermittent fasting is?
I don't know.
In a nutshell?
The only understanding I hear is if you want to start, the best way to start is to don't eat in a 24-hour period for 2 days, non-consecutive days in 1 week.
In its simplest form, it's basically time restricted eating. So instead of giving yourself from the moment you wake up to the moment you go down eating the whole time, just whenever you feel like it, you restrict yourself to a few hours window to fast. So if we break it up into a 24-hour period, the most people start off with the 16-8. They fast for 16 hours and then they eat for 8 hours. So for example, they stop eating at 8 p.m. in the evening, and they'll forego breakfast, like a morning breakfast, and they'll just break the fast, or they'll have breakfast at 12 instead. So they have that 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. They have that 8-hour eating window.
Okay, so
that's
it's called lean gains, 16 hours, and then eat remaining 8 hours a day. Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. I never heard of that.
Wait, so you said after 12 p.m. that's when you can start eating again?
Oh, from 12 to 8. I mean,
okay.
I mean, you could start right at 12, but
yeah,
I think you're just creating a window.
Yeah.
It's up to you. It's up to you to create that window. You can go later from 2 to 8, 2 to 9, right? But the point of it is to give your body a break for at least a 16-hour period, or around at least.
Yeah, because like I know my sister. Now that you mention it like that, like my sister's actually on that diet too, and she's been going on for, I think, like, if I could remember right, it's like she's been going on for like at least over 5 months now. But she said the first month was like probably the toughest, because now your body's coming to realize, oh, we're really gonna do this now, huh? And swear to God, it's like, I planned. Funny story too. It's like I planned a lunch meeting with her, and I told her, you know what, let's have lunch at 12. And she said, okay, perfect. That's right around lunchtime where I can eat. And then I told her, like, hey, I'm actually gonna be running late. I'll be there around 1. And as soon as I got there, she was like just totally like, upset. It was like, how could you change the time when it's almost close to lunch? Because I guess, dude, I get like, I think she was like raging over not eating.
Did she get angry on you?
Yeah. I mean, dude, honestly, I would get angry too if like I haven't eaten for a while and then like I'm having to wait for someone to finally show up. It's like, dude, I'm like starving here.
So it makes people angry.
Yeah, you should apologize. Next time you tell her, you just say, "Hey, look, I'm sorry. So just go ahead and eat, and then I'll get there, and then you get to watch me eat, and I'll pay the bill.
It has the potential. I mean, when I first started, it took a while to get used to because I normally eat by 11 o'clock. And even to stretch it out to 12 o'clock was like murderous. I was in a murderous rage some days. But now I can not eat until 2 o'clock. And it doesn't matter. I'm not as stringent nowadays because I'm no longer in that I'm trying to lose weight season. But Danny, he mentioned that it gives your body a break. And so our bodies spend so much time. The one thing that our bodies spend so much time doing is digestion. It takes a lot, especially if you eat animal protein. It takes a lot of energy for our bodies to break down and process and go move it around our body. And then, our body does what it does. But when we break, when we do that fast, our body digests, and then it's allowed to do the other things it can do. When we sleep, our skin is rejuvenated, our brains are being is able to rest. The other bodily functions, whatever it does, miraculous body does. Our body's able to do that because it doesn't have to focus on digesting. And so that's why experts, whoever these experts are, I recommend you give yourself a break. 2 hours. You stop being at 8 and then you go to bed at 10. You give yourself at least 2 hours before going to bed. Because if you go to sleep, your body needs to digest, but what you want your body to do is to just rest and again rejuvenate and refresh itself. And
so if you're not eating while you're sleeping, does that count?
Dude, I have a cousin who eats in his sleep. No,
I'll be like, because if it does, dude, I'm just gonna sleep for 14 hours.
You know what? If you can, do it.
Hey, I've done that. I would sleep in the middle of sleep and I wake up and I feel hungry and I'll reach over and grab a bag of chips and sleep and eat while I'm sleeping.
Oh my Lord, you're terrible.
But that was when I was 230 pounds.
Oh man. But hey, this is all good information, but Dan, I just want to give it to you on here. Like, because 2020 is coming up. I mean, we're only in November. We got one more month, and I'm pretty sure people are probably reflecting on what kind of, if their diet is working, or if they want to start new. I was wondering, like, do you suggest like continuing what all these new diets with the intermittent fasting that has started in like 2018, 2019, or completely throwing it out and just starting something that's more healthy, more plant-based focused?
I think what I want to do and what I plan to do is just giving everyone information and not going to 2020 with blinders on and only want to focus on losing weight. My agenda for this year is to get everyone healthy by pointing them towards plant-based, or at least cutting down the animal protein consumption. That's my goal, and just exposing a lot of the conspiracies out there with don't believe every claim from for example, like the blueberry industry. If you do see a claim, look who's funding it. Generally, it's backed by most of these corporations that wants to make millions and trillions of dollars off you by publishing a bogus claim saying X amount is so good for you. You need to eat more of this. Because when we were growing up, that's what's happening. That's what happened, right? When you watch TV, they said, "What's for dinner? Beef. Where's the beef?" Right? We watch that all on TV. How does your son know that he wants Cocoa Puffs? Because he saw it on TV, right?
Yeah.
And our parents back then, they worked so hard. Obviously, what's available? Fast food, right? So I want our parents and kids to have that knowledge and make the right decision for themselves and have a sustainable diet and not just jumping from one diet to another to diet. Yes, every diet's going to work in 90 days, but what's going to happen? Your body's going to self-regulate itself, and now you're going to balloon up, and that becomes a yo-yo diet. So that's my goal is to arm myself with information and pass it on to my clients, and to the gym.
So hey, when we, I'll tell you what. Like during the show, is it okay if I can just put your information on here? How people can contact you? Maybe they can check out your facility, and possibly train them, and also give information. Is that okay if I can post it up there?
Sure. Yeah, of course. Right. I'll be honored to. Yeah.
Yeah. So folks, hey, that's Danny. That's our guest. Also sitting in with us is Ken-sei. And we're just going to close on here. That was really good information. But if this is something that we should probably continue, we should probably do one more session on this heading into the new year, probably sometime after Christmas, right before New Year's. See if we can get together, and let's just try to make it happen. But anyway, we got to shut it down right here. Good show, guys. All right, I'm Roy,
and I'm Joy,
and I'm Jay,
and you're listening to Cins Radio.